She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. No, he ain't.
Republicans wrapping their arms around Republicans rather than doing the right thing on behalf of the...
Carlos danger.
See from the metadata Anthony Weiner's laptop.
Congressman Weiner should resign from the Congress.
So today I'm announcing my resignation from Congress.
Thank you to Anthony Weiner.
May 27th, 2011. A sitting U.S. congressman hits send on what he thinks is a private message. Within seconds, the photo appears on his public Twitter feed, visible to his 50,000 followers. The image? A picture of his crotch in boxer briefs. The recipient? A 1-year-old college student he'd never met. What happened next would destroy not just one career, but potentially change the outcome of a presidential election. This is the story of Anthony Weiner, a man who had it all and threw it away 3 times. In 2010, Anthony Weiner was one of the most promising politicians in America. A 7-term congressman from New York who'd never won with less than 59% of the vote. His viral speech defending 9 over 11 first responders made him a national hero.
We are following a procedure. I will not yield to the gentleman, and the gentleman will observe regular order. The gentleman will observe regular order.
He was married to Hillary Clinton's closest advisor. And he was being talked about as a future mayor, maybe even president. By 2017, he was inmate number 799122054 at a federal prison in Massachusetts. This is a story about power, addiction, and self-destruction on a scale that's almost impossible to believe. Anthony Weiner was born September 4th, 1964, in Brooklyn, New York. His father was a lawyer, his mother a high school math teacher. Nothing particularly special about his background. But young Anthony was ambitious. He wanted attention. And more than anything, he wanted to be a politician. In 1985, fresh out of college, he became a staff member for Congressman Charles Schumer. For 6 years, he learned the game, how to work the media, how to raise money, how to build a political machine. Then in 1991, at just 27 years old, he ran for New York City Council and won. He became the youngest city council member in New York City history. In 1998, when Schumer ran for Senate, Anthony ran for his congressional seat and won by a landslide. From 1999 to 2011, Anthony Weiner won 7 terms in Congress. He never dropped below 59% of the vote. His district loved him because he was a fighter, loud, passionate, a Brooklyn guy who didn't take crap from anyone. But behind the scenes, he had a reputation. The New York Times reported he would yell at staff and throw office furniture. His staff turnover was brutal. He was a workaholic who demanded perfection. Still, nobody denied he was going places. Then came July 29th, 2010, the day Anthony Weiner became a national star. Republicans were blocking health care for 9/11 first responders. Weiner walked onto the House floor and delivered a speech that went viral with millions of views. He shouted, "It is a shame. If you believe this is a bad idea, then vote no. But don't give me the cowardly view that, oh, if it was a different procedure. That's just cowardly." Suddenly, he wasn't just a congressman from Brooklyn. He was a progressive hero. Political insiders started whispering about him running for mayor, maybe even higher. 10 days before that viral speech, on July 10th, 2010, Anthony Weiner got married to Huma Abedin, one of Hillary Clinton's closest advisors. The wedding was officiated by former President Bill Clinton. Think about that. A former president officiated their wedding. That's how connected this couple was. Anthony and Abedin were called Washington's new power couple. He was the rising congressman with national recognition. She was Hillary's right hand. Together, they seemed unstoppable. But behind closed doors, Anthony Weiner had a secret, an addiction he couldn't control. And in less than a year, that secret would blow up his entire life. May 27th, 2011, is at home. His wife is pregnant. He's at the peak of his career. He's been messaging women online for years, sending flirty texts, explicit photos. Tonight, he takes a picture of himself in boxer briefs and means to send it privately to a 1-year-old college student in Seattle named Jeanette Cordova. But he doesn't send it privately. He tweets it publicly to his 50,000 followers. He deletes it immediately, but it's too late. Screenshots exist. The internet never forgets. Within hours, conservative blogger Andrew Breitbart picks up the story. When the story breaks on May 28th, Anthony has a choice: admit it or lie. He chooses to lie. He claims he was hacked. He posts jokes. Facebook hacked. Is my blender going to attack me next? For days, he tries to laugh it off.
Did you send that picture to that college student in Washington State?
I did not. She says she never got it and doesn't know me. I certainly don't know her.
No, if this is your underpants.
Photographs can be manipulated. Photographs can be taken out from one place and put in another place. Photos can be doctored. And I want to make sure that we know for sure what happened here. It certainly doesn't look familiar to me, but I don't want to say with certitude to you something that I don't know to be the certain truth.
But more women come forward with screenshots, entire conversations, photos Anthony had sent over the years.
Once it got to the point that he lied on national television, I knew that anything I said after that would either have to be a lie or an admission. But he kept lying.
On June 1st, reporters ask him directly, "Is that a photo of you?" His answer, "I can't say with certitude. My system was hacked."
I was hacked. It happens to people. You move on.
He hires a private security firm instead of calling the FBI. Why? Because he knows the FBI would find the truth. June 6th, 2011. The walls are closing in. Anthony calls a press conference. Standing at the podium, voice shaking, he finally breaks. "I have exchanged messages and photos of an explicit nature with about 6 women over the last 3 years. He apologizes to his wife, his constituents, everyone he lied to. One painful detail: Weiner reportedly called Bill Clinton, the man who officiated his wedding, to apologize personally. The press calls it highly ironic given Clinton's own scandal with Monica Lewinsky. For 10 days, Anthony tries to hold on, but Democratic leaders want him gone. Nancy Pelosi calls for his resignation. Even President Obama says he should step down.
With the love of his family, the confidence of his constituents, and the need for help, that Congressman Weiner should resign from the Congress.
I can tell you that if it was me, I would resign.
On June 16th, 2011, at the same spot where he first campaigned for city council in 1992, Anthony Weiner announces his resignation.
So today I'm announcing my resignation from Congress.
I had hoped to continue to work for my constituents, but unfortunately, the distraction I have created has made that impossible. 7 terms in Congress, a national reputation, a bright political future, gone in less than 3 weeks. Most politicians would disappear after this. But not Anthony Weiner. For a year and a half, he stays out of the spotlight. His son Jordan is born in December 2011, but inside, he's plotting a comeback. In April 2013, Anthony announces he's running for mayor of New York City. At first, it looks like it might work. He launches with a YouTube video featuring him and Huma, humble and apologetic. Huma says, "We had difficult times. I'm proud we worked through them." Within weeks, Anthony is leading in the polls. Political experts write, can Anthony Weiner really pull off the impossible comeback? For a brief moment, it looks like the answer might be yes. But then July 23rd happens. July 23rd, 2013. A gossip website called The Dirty publishes a bombshell. More sexting, more explicit photos, more inappropriate conversations. But these messages weren't from before his resignation. They were from after. Late 2012, early 2013, some as recent as April, just weeks before he announced his mayoral campaign. He'd done it again, even after losing his career, even after embarrassing his wife. And there's one detail that makes this legendary: the pseudonym he used, Carlos Danger. Within hours, Carlos Danger is trending worldwide. Late-night comedians have a field day. The memes spread everywhere.
Weiner is suggesting body cameras facing out. Weiner is just trying to keep the city from danger. Carlos Danger.
On July 27th, just 4 days later, his campaign manager resigns. The New York Times calls for him to drop out. Polls show his support collapsing from first place to fifth in days. July 23rd, the same day the Carlos Danger story breaks, Anthony holds a press conference. Standing next to him is Huma Abedin. She reads a statement. Anthony's made horrible mistakes, both before and after he resigned. But I strongly believe this is between us and our marriage. I love him. I have forgiven him. It's painful to watch. A brilliant woman, one of Hillary's most trusted advisors, standing by a man who has publicly humiliated her twice. Anthony Weiner says, I said other texts were likely to come out, and today, they have. Wait, he knew there were more, and he still ran for mayor? The audacity is stunning. The campaign limps along for 6 more weeks. On September 10th, 2013, New York holds its Democratic primary. Anthony Weiner, the man who was leading just 2 months earlier, finishes with 4.9% of the vote, 5th place out of 5 candidates. Most people assume this is truly the end. There's no coming back from 2 scandals and Carlos Danger. But the worst was still to come. August 2016, Anthony is out of politics. His marriage is strained but intact. Then the New York Post publishes a story. Anthony has been sexting again. This time, a photo shows him in bed in his underwear with his 4-year-old son sleeping next to him. The public reaction is furious. He's involving his child. The next day, August 29th, 2016, Huma Abedin releases a statement. After long and painful consideration, I have made the decision to separate from my husband. Finally, after years of standing by him, Huma is done. But it gets worse. In September 2016, the Daily Mail publishes another bombshell. Weiner had been sexting with a 15-year-old girl from North Carolina. This isn't a scandal anymore. This is a federal crime. The FBI seizes Anthony's laptop and phone. And that's when they make a discovery that would change American history. FBI agents going through Anthony's laptop find something unexpected. Emails. 141,000 of them. These aren't Anthony's emails. They're Huma Abedin's emails, sent to and from Hillary Clinton. Huma had used Anthony's laptop to email Clinton on October 28, 2016. Just 11 days before the presidential election, FBI Director James Comey sends a letter to Congress. The FBI is reopening its investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server because of emails found on Anthony Weiner's laptop. The political world explodes. Clinton's poll numbers drop. Trump and Republicans seize on the story. On November 6th, just 2 days before the election, Comey announces the FBI found nothing new. But the damage is done. On November 8th, 2016, Donald Trump wins the presidency. Many analysts believe Comey's letter, triggered by Anthony Weiner's laptop, may have cost Hillary Clinton the election. A sexting addiction didn't just destroy one man's career, it may have changed who became president of the United States. May 19th, 2017, Anthony Weiner surrenders to the FBI. He pleads guilty to transferring obscene material to a minor. That same day, Huma files for divorce. On September 25th, 2017, Judge Denise Cote sentences him to 21 months in federal prison. In court, Anthony sobs. I have a sickness, but I do not have an excuse. I found the courage to take a moral inventory of my defects. The judge is not sympathetic. She calls his conduct serious and reprehensible. He must register as a sex offender for life. On November 6, 2017, Anthony Weiner reports to the Federal Medical Center in Devens, Massachusetts. Inmate number 799122054. He serves 15 months of his sentence and is released early in February 2019 for good behavior. Full release comes on May 14, 2019. But even after prison, the consequences continue. He must register as a sex offender for life. He's on supervised release. His law license is suspended. Huma and Anthony initially settled their divorce privately in 2018 to spare their son, but it's finalized in early 2025. In July 2024, Huma announces her engagement to Alexander Soros. They marry in June 2025. She's moved on and built a new life. And Anthony? In 2025, incredibly, he tries one more comeback. He runs for New York City Council. He finishes fourth with 10.3% of the vote. Even after everything, Anthony Weiner still can't stay away from politics. So what do we learn from Anthony Weiner's rise and fall? First, addiction is real. Whether it's the need for attention and validation or something else, addiction can destroy even the most successful people. Second, one lie leads to another. If Anthony Weiner had admitted the truth in 2011, he might have survived. But the cover-up made it exponentially worse. Third, power doesn't make you special. Anthony thought he could get away with behavior that would destroy a normal person. He was wrong. But maybe the biggest lesson is this: some people can't get out of their own way. Anthony Weiner had everything: a beautiful wife, a successful career, the respect of millions, a clear path to becoming mayor, maybe even president. And he threw it all away. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. He's now a cautionary tale, a punchline, a name forever associated with scandal and the pseudonym Carlos Danger. From youngest city council member in New York history to a viral speech that made him a national hero to inmate. That's the story of Anthony Weiner.